Take a look at this. This is what we're gonna make. It's gonna be beautiful. So let's get started. Osso Bucco is an Italian dish, and I'm not a great Italian cook, but we're gonna give this a shot anyway. I've not made this in about 10 years, so we're gonna give it a good shot, and we're gonna give it the old Uncle Bob twist because that's what I do. So instead of, it's typically made with veal, but we are going to use oxtail or beef tail. You can see it's got a bone in here from that's where the tail is, and then the meat that's around that. So this is going to be up closer to the rump, but you can see how great this beef looks. It's the marbling in it, everything that we need to make a delicious Osso Bucco is going to be in here. Look at this connective tissue. All this is going to render down into beautiful gelatinous goodness. These fat lines, there's a piece of gristle next to those. All of that's going to render down, and it's just going to be a really, really good piece of meat. You know, oxtail is kind of, this is what the peasants ate. The kings and the queens didn't eat this stuff. This was the garbage that was thrown aside. And as peasants do, they make something super delicious out of something that's not very good. So it's kind of where it came from. And we're going to go ahead and just use some salt and pepper on this to start it off. And just sprinkle some on there. You don't need to really worry about getting a great coverage because this is going to braise. We just want to get something under the flour. Pat it in there nice. Get the other side. And you can't oversalt this. It's a big piece of meat. So don't worry about that. Don't worry about putting a little too much pepper on. If you overdo it a little bit, it's not that big of a deal. Okay, we got these salted peppered, and now we're going to go ahead and just add some flour. You could just dredge these, or you could just add it like this. It seems to use a little less flour and makes a little bit less of a mess when I do it this way. Right now, we're going to go ahead and add some butter into our pot, or my pan here. You can tell it's hot, it's sizzling. And I'm going to add a little olive oil as well, just to raise that smoke point a little bit. So we're just going to try and sear these off a little bit. You don't want to crowd them in the pan. Because they will sweat and they will boil rather than sear. So you can notice the heat of the pan came way down when I put those 3 big pieces of meat in there. So hopefully it'll come back up to heat pretty quick and we'll get a nice sear. Want to cook that flour a little bit. We want to you want to smell between the butter and that flour. It's almost a nutty bready type smell is what you're looking for when you sear this off, and you'll definitely know it. Kind of like when you're making a roux. All right, I just flipped these, and you can see where we got just a little bit of crust on the outside. That flour is fully cooked, and it's really what we're not looking to cook them all the way through. We're not looking to do anything spectacular. Just put a nice little brown sear on them. I'm going to go ahead and start pulling these off. See that side? Looking good. Set these aside. Put our last one in. Has a big old bone in the middle of it, but that's all right. That's going to be flavor. Okay, we've got the shanks finished off. We've still got our grease here. It's nice and hot, and now we're going to add our vegetables. So what we have in here is a cup of carrots, a cup of onion, that's yellow onion, and a cup of celery. And we're just going to put it in here and sweat these out. Give about 5 minutes or so just to soften up just a little bit. These are going to go into a big Dutch oven here pretty quick, and then they'll braise with that meat for a while. And We don't have that much sticking on the bottom, which is a great thing. We'll just sweat these out a little bit. All the fond has already come up, so that's kind of nice. Get them swished around in that butter. Got everything transferred into a Dutch oven, and you might be asking, why, Bob, didn't you just start in the Dutch oven? Well, my wife's a really nice Dutch oven. She would kill me if I put that in the smoker. And this Dutch oven is the one that I put in the smoker. So, but it has a non-stick bottom in it. I don't like steering things to it because when I go to deglaze, I don't, if it does happen to come up, I don't want it in my food. So, so anyway, we've sweated out the vegetables. They're starting to get tender. They're in here. We're going to start by putting some tomato paste in here. We make this for ourselves. Our tomatoes that we grew. If not, store-bought is fine. Then we are going to add some wine. Now the recipe calls for 3 cups. This is what I got, so this is what we're going to use. I'm guessing this is about a cup. So of white wine. Put that in there. Don't worry, you're not going to get drunk by eating this. It's all going to burn. All the alcohol is going to burn off. This is just strictly for flavor. Let's stir this up a little bit. Let it come back up. I am going to go ahead and just hit this with a hint of black pepper and a little bit of salt. Just trying to layer those flavors a little bit. Okay, next, the recipe would normally call for Marzano tomatoes. We grew Marzano, and that's actually what's in here. If they're just not whole. And there's actually some jalapenos in this. We call this our T&J, but there's a slight little hint of jalapeno in there. So I think that'll go nicely with this dish. We've got garlic here. Just chunked up. It doesn't need to be fine. We're gonna strain all this out when this is done. So the garlic goes in. We have paprika, smoked paprika. We have thyme, a bay leaf. So we're gonna put that in, and we'll top it with some fresh parsley when we get there. You can see this is starting to just kind of looks good all by itself. So let's put it's gonna be tight. It's gonna be really tight. I have to put them a little sideways. Get them in there. They will cook down though. This one here. Move this over a little bit. Just kind of get them in there. If you're wondering, this is about 4 pounds of oxtail that we have in there. I'm gonna go get some beef stock. I'm gonna fill this up, and then we're gonna get it in the smoker, uncovered, and we'll check it in about an hour and a half. All right, let's check this Osso Bucco. It's been an hour and a half. Let's see what she looks like. Oh yeah, look at that, simmering away really nice. Starting to get a little dark out here, so I realize it's a little hard to see. Look at that, getting some smoke color on there. And we're gonna push this back in. Turn it up to 350, and we'll let it go another hour or so, and we'll check it. So let's pull this out of here and put it in this bowl here, this meat. Look at that, that's pretty good. It's looking good. Bone fell out. Look at that. It's just, look at that. It's just kind of, yeah, it's pulling apart. Just wants to come apart. Gotta Splashed the camera guy day today. Bones just fell off. Look at that. That's pretty. Oh, if I can do this without splashing me. Look at that. Oh, right in it goes. Okay, so now what we're going to do is strain all the solids out of this mixture. They've been cooked down. There's really no taste left in them. So it's all infused in the sauce. So let's just get this stuff out of here. I just got a little strainer here. Hopefully, I don't know if you could see that or not, but little bay leaf there. You know, I did end up putting 2 pints of beef broth in here. Just kind of push that down, get all that beautiful sauce. I need to get another bowl. I'll be right back. So I guess in YouTube land, when you forget to bring something to the table, they call that the walk of shame. I don't know about that. I call it I just forgot something. Let's get this slop in there. I want to pour the rest of this. Handy a paw pits. Keep from burning myself. Hold this up. Oh, the last little tidbits out of there. Okay. So, I don't know if you can see in here, there's a little bit of grease. So I am going to try my best to just do this quickly and get the grease off the top there. The proper way to do this is to put it into an oil separator, which I do not have right now. Or you could dump some ice cubes on top and let that fat gel a little bit. But we're doing the lazy man's way today because it's getting late. As you can tell, it's dark outside. Of course, it is mid-November, but that's pretty good. That's pretty good. So we're going to dump this back in this bowl. And we're going to put this back in the smoker and let this reduce a little bit. I think it's time. It's time. We put this on at roughly 3 o'clock. It is now 7 o'clock, so 4 hours. Took about an hour, it took about an hour prep, so it really didn't go on until 4 o'clock. So right at 3 hours, not too bad. So we're just going to put a little bit of mashed potatoes in the bottom of this bowl. Spread that out really nice like that. And we got to look for that one perfect piece. This one right here. Look at that. Look at that. Got our perfect piece of meat in there. Just want to move this out of the way a little bit here. Let go of the tongs. Let's get down to some of that reduced juice. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? That is just some beautiful, beautiful juice. Just thick enough. to make magic. Look at that. So let me show you this. Look at that. It's nice. We're gonna, since it's an Italian dish, let's put some Parmesan on top of here. And some greens. Look at that. Just a little bit. There you go. That's a pretty dish. Look at that. All right, so let's get a taste of this. Oh, it just falls apart. Get some potato in there. Lost my potato. Some potato in there. No, that's good. That is really good. The flavor, very complex. It's a lot of depth to it. It's not something you can make in an hour. It's layer upon layer upon layer. Man, is that good. That's really gotta have another bite. The oxtail is super tender. That's really good. That's really good. Stop at the farm store, order online. We got the oxtail. Make this wonderful, great dish. You will not be disappointed. Let us know how it turned out in the comments if you try this. Remember, Bob's your uncle. I'll never lead you wrong. See you next time.